What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hopefully you guys are having an incredible Monday. So today I spent a decent part of my day actually going through the comments, interacting with a handful of people here in the community, and going and reading a lot of my emails and answering questions over there as well. So I just want to thank you guys for always hitting that like button and also sending me messages and asking for help. Again, if you send me an email, then you know it goes right to me, but don't comment in the comment section thinking that every time you see my picture, my name, and that says send me a payment or a message through WhatsApp. That's not me, okay? So send me an email if you want me to get back to you with any type of response. Now, one of the things that I did is I helped people today with try to understand this eviction moratorium that will be actually expiring in about 16 days. So for a lot of you guys that are worried and you're behind on rent, I have some stuff I want to address in this video as well. I'm going to talk about how actually 22 attorney generals are actually trying to get this extended. I also want to address the $50,000 student loan forgiveness program that some are saying that this could be coming, but I just want to be 100% clear what we are seeing at this time. And I also want to dive into the unemployment benefits because a handful of people have asked if they will continue to get unemployment benefits, and so I just want to address that as well. Again, I just want to thank you guys for watching, spending your time with me. Hopefully you enjoy these daily uploads. If you do, like always, do me a favor, hit that like button. It really does help out the channel. So now, let's get into talking about the eviction moratorium. First, there are 22 attorney generals, attorney generals in 22 different states that are asking the CDC to extend the federal eviction moratorium that currently ends on June 30th, so in 16 days. So yes, many people are going to lose their unemployment benefits, and on top of that, they're going to pretty much have the eviction moratorium expire right in the middle. And this is going to be hard for a lot of people. Estimates currently show that roughly 11 million Americans are behind on their rent, and experts worry that as soon as the eviction moratorium is over, the evictions will happen in large waves. So if this happens, we could see millions and millions of Americans not only lose their home, be kicked out onto the street, but have no money to go and find another apartment. And with currently having a housing shortage, and especially an affordable housing shortage, there's really nowhere to go but live on the streets, or hopefully somebody would have a car or maybe live with family or friends. That's really the only option at this time. So to make matters worse, reports are indicating that 80% of renters are able to pay their rents. However, the lowest income earners are the ones in almost every single state that are hurting the most. And this is just another reasons why progressives at this time are actually pushing for more relief to this group of people. They say that if somebody's making not even a livable wage, and this is something that Bernie Sanders has been fighting for quite some time, they say if you can't even make a livable wage, how can you actually afford something when we are seeing all this inflation? There is no way you can. They also say low-income earners can't live without a stimulus check. This is not a stimulus check at this point. There's no way they will stimulate the economy. This is a survival check at this point. And many lawmakers have said this before, and said this even before the $600 stimulus check. That was the second one under former President Donald Trump. They were saying that the $600 check was a survival check. And I can tell you right now, $600 does not go very far. Even the $1,400, that in many people's case will not go very far. A lot of people have blown through the full $2,000 that they received over the past few months. But what I can tell you is the next check is not going to be much of a stimulus check. So some lawmakers, and I saw this on Twitter and I thought this was very interesting, is one was actually saying that we can't pass another stimulus check, especially trying to get bipartisan support. It won't happen. Okay, just trying to paraphrase this, of course. But he went on to say that we can pass a survival check to the hardest hit individuals, and we can target these checks to the right people, especially now that the IRS has gone through a decent amount of current income tax, so the federal income tax for 2020. So they are saying that there is a way to target the lowest income earners and the ones that have been impacted the most. So we'll see what happens, but hopefully that's the case, because honestly right now, I think the American people need an additional stimulus check. I know a lot of seniors, just talking to people in the community through Messenger, or not through Messenger, but right on here on YouTube, or through email as well, is that a lot of people are saying the exact same thing, is that they just don't make enough money, and it's because they're on either unemployment or they are just older and they are getting Social Security benefits. So that's kind of where we are there. But what we know right now is that some are saying that it is so difficult to try to get back on track with not only their rent, right? Because that's the big thing that I want to address right now, because we're only 16 days away. This is going to happen right before the 4th of July. So it's like, hey, have a great holiday, but sorry, you're being evicted. It's going to be very tough for a lot of people to have a great holiday when that's kind of what they're looking at in the rearview mirror. So we'll see. But one thing I can tell you is that right now reports indicate that the lowest income earners in many states are the ones having the toughest time, not only paying their rent, but it's because of some are going to be losing their unemployment benefits. And for those that do not have any income, how do they get back on track and pay their rent? They just can't. And then here's the other thing that we just heard, and this is something that we've kind of known for a while, but this is something that we got reports on earlier today, is that the lowest income earners are actually being squeezed out of their jobs. So even though they could hopefully get off unemployment, go back to work, the problem is now, let's say you work in an office building, okay? You work in an office building, it doesn't matter what you do. Now the manager, instead of just somebody that has like a bachelor's degree, now you got the manager has like a master's degree. And then you got the office receptionist, they have like a bachelor's degree. And then you got the, let's say the janitor, he has to have an associate's degree. And then again, you're squeezing out the lowest income earners. So now the janitor that used to just be a high school graduate, well, there's nothing for them, because now it's being given to somebody with an associate's degree. So this is kind of where we're at, and this is why some are saying it's going to be a very, very difficult time to get all the people that are currently jobless back to work, because some that are overqualified are now getting the jobs that used to be going to high school graduates and people with an associate's degree or possibly even a bachelor's degree. Now they're getting, these people are coming in and they have a master's degree, right? And so it's just very difficult to try to keep up with that, especially with what we're seeing today. So we'll see what happens there. But what we do know is that right now, many are just wondering, is the Biden administration going to do something? Are they going to step in? Are they going to help the American people? Or is this something that we won't see until July? Is this something that we may not even see until September? Or will the Biden administration and Democrats just let the American people suffer? Now I say, well, the Biden administration and Democrats, because currently they hold all the power. And right now, Republicans can do very little. They can block it. Yeah, of course they can. But Democrats also have the power to do a budget reconciliation. So right now, Democrats really have no reason to be waiting other than trying to coddle and hold hands with Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. Now, what we know right now, and speaking of suffering, because the American people are suffering, what we know is that every single day, lawmakers, especially Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren, they come out and say, hey, President Biden, today would be a good day to cancel student loan forgiveness, reduce student loan forgiveness. Well, this is something that we see every single day, and yet President Biden has done very little for it and says almost nothing about it. Well, things are going to change according to reports. President Biden has indicated that he is open to student loan forgiveness of up to $50,000. Previously, it was only up to $10,000, so he's changing his mind. Now, he also told Senator Chuck Schumer to continue putting on the pressure, because the pressure is what it's going to take to see something done. What we know is that Senator Chuck Schumer has called President Biden almost daily in order to just remind him that, hey, this is how much student debt forgiveness would actually impact the economy and the American people. And reports indicate that many students or past students are unable to afford the simple things, are unable to afford the everyday essentials even before the pandemic. And so it's even more difficult now as we're seeing inflation and income is actually dropping. So Some experts worry that once this the student loan forbearance, the payment forbearance is over, then once this is done, how are the American people going to get back to where they once were? How are they going to be able to afford that debt that they incurred years ago? How can they pay that off? Some are saying that they will not be able to do that. And then on top of that, if you have, let's say, you have back rent that you got to pay, how do you do that? And then on top of that, and just give you an idea, okay, just giving you an example, currently, people that make up to $10,200 on unemployment benefits do not have to pay income tax on that money, on that $10,200. That was for 2020. For 2021, we do not have that piece of legislation in any bill yet, okay? So I just want you to keep that in mind. If we don't see that get renewed, then people on unemployment benefits, let's say they made $10,200, we'll just say $10,000 just to make things simple. If you have to pay 10% of that, then you have to pay the government back $1,000 at the end of the year for your federal income tax. So right now, some are saying that this is just going to be, misery upon misery upon misery, just piled on top of each other. And right now, the American people are going to suffer if nobody does anything about it. Well, what I can tell you is that Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has said and told President Biden that he has the power to cancel student debt through executive actions. However, President Biden has said multiple times he does not believe he has the executive authority to do so. And when he asked the Education Secretary Miguel Cardona at the beginning of April, he said he would look into it and get back to him. Well, it's been over 2 months, and Cardona has not even responded to President Biden, at least according to reports. So right now, there is little effort on the part of the Education Secretary, at least according to many experts. But what I can tell you is that right now, lawmakers continue to push for their own different policies and ideas and plans. The problem is President Biden does not have the power to just say, okay, let's just pass this bill. He doesn't have that power. Congress has more power than the president. So the issue there is Congress is made up of many different men and women with many different plans and ideas and proposals, and trying to get them all on board to pass something at this time, many experts believe it's going to be almost impossible. And when you ask certain key Democrats, they say this is a tall task and it's going to be a very hard sell to get this through Congress at this point. So we'll see what happens, but what I can tell you is just buckle up for the ride, because this will be very bumpy. Now, like I said, I responded to a lot of questions earlier today, through here on YouTube, plus through email as well. If you have any questions, please comment down below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. But I wanted to answer this question that came from Johnny R. From here in the community. Johnny asked, and I quote, "I live in a state that will be canceling unemployment benefits this weekend. Will I lose my benefits if I was an Uber driver before the pandemic?" Well, here's what we know. The answer is yes. Okay. Let's say you are an Uber driver, you're just a gig worker, freelancer. The answer is yes, because, and technically I would be a freelancer as well, a gig worker. That would be considered potentially what I would be. And so let's say I were to qualify for unemployment benefits. My benefits would expire if I lived in a state that was canceling the unemployment benefits. And it's simply because freelancers or gig workers got something called a PUA, that's Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. Well, that will only last until either September 6th or your state cancels the benefits. Now, in addition to that, also long-term unemployed workers will lose benefits as well. Let me explain that for a second. Let's say you, I think here in Washington State, I think you get like 26 weeks of unemployment benefits or something, then it got extended like 56 or whatever. There's a maximum amount of benefits, of benefit weeks that you get, okay? So let's say it's 50 weeks in your state. If it's 50 weeks in your state and you're at like 45 weeks and you're currently on state benefits, okay? You would continue to get, let's say you're on 45 weeks and you get up to 50. You would continue to get 5 extra weeks even after this week. Okay, or actually then it would go to 46, so then you get 4 extra weeks. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, because you have a maximum amount of benefits under the state program. Now, just keep in mind, at 50 weeks, it would be done, it would be cut off. However, you would not receive any of that $300 per week. That bonus would be done. That will be done for every single person. Okay, so it will be done for every single person in the United States on September 6th, or if your state decides to cancel that before, then it would be done on whatever date your state has set. So right now, that's what we know. And I wanted to address this because I know a lot of people are asking about unemployment benefits. That are they gonna still get something? Will they still get their state benefits? Or are they just losing the 300 and vice versa? So just wanted to answer that for you. Now, on top of that, another question that I've been getting a lot, which I wasn't planning on addressing, but I'll talk about that anyway, is regarding the unemployment income tax refunds. What we know is the IRS has stated, this themselves, that they are going to they're going to process the easiest income tax returns. These are individuals who just have a W-2. That's it. Okay? W-2, unemployment benefits, that's all. No children, no assets, no real estate, no business income, nothing, right? That's who they're gonna address first. Then they'll go on to people that have, let's say, a family, children. Then they'll go on to people that have, they're married filing jointly. They have, children. And then they'll go on to people that have, married filing jointly, have children, have, real estate, have assets, maybe investments, business income, whatsoever, right? So they'll go from the easiest tax returns to the more complex. According to the IRS, they are saying that they want to have this money sent out by the end of the summer. They want to have all the people that are owed any unemployment income tax. They want those people to have all their money by the end of this summer. So we're just starting. We're just the beginning of June, or middle of June actually. So I do think this is going to be a long summer for many people, but just understand your money is hopefully coming. So just wanted to leave you with that. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.